All right. Well, good evening, everybody. Kevin Crouch here with South Metro Weather, and we have an evening update here to kind of share with you what we're looking at in terms of this winter storm that is headed our way. There's really not a whole lot new to say, but I know that there's some who can't tune in at noon, so I wanted to make sure that all of you in the evening had a chance to get updated. We are looking at the water vapor imagery here, and you can see all of this moisture just flooding into Texas, no pun intended, but flooding into Texas. And this will set up for showers tomorrow. I don't think we're going to see much in terms of thunderstorm activity, but I mean, we can't rule that out necessarily. So there may be a few rumbles of thunder, but what we're really, of course, everybody's really interested in is the ice and sleet and snow and those kinds of things that are coming in. And there's been some debate about when we're going to drop below freezing. Something I want to point out. A lot of people are listening to the Dallas TV stations. A lot of people are saying, well, DFW is going to do this or that. DFW is north of our coverage area. And so, yeah, DFW is going to get to freezing before we will. And it may be a couple of hours of difference. Sometimes it moves slowly, that progression southward of dropping below freezing. I still have it around 5, 6 a.m. So, we'll actually have sunrise about 7:30 in the morning. So, I mean, by sunrise, we should be below freezing. And the rain, by freezing, below freezing Saturday morning, that is. Because tomorrow is all day we're above freezing. Okay, all day tomorrow we're above freezing. It's going to be chilly. It's going to be cool. But it's going to be wet, rainy, and gross. But we will be above freezing. It's Saturday morning, probably around, again, 5, 6 a.m., that we will actually see below freezing temperatures. And, it's going to be, like I said, the best way to put it is it's just going to be gross out there. I mean, there's not really much more to offer there. So I want to talk, of course, timing, and we'll actually go through kind of the talking points here. And I actually need to update something here. I was working on the forecast and I failed to update one thing. So I'm going to try to do that while I talk to you here. My multitasking skills are not always fantastic, but we'll see if I can accomplish this. Maybe I could just do a step or two while I'm chatting here. Okay. And then I'll just go through all the other steps of getting that done. So there's no rain right now. We switch over to the radar, and there's not much right now. But you can see that system coming ashore right there near California. That will make its way eastward. And as it does, it'll continue to bring all of this new Pacific moisture in. There'll be some Gulf moisture moving in as well. In fact, when I show you the models, I can actually show you all of that moving in. So let's go right over to, again, we'll get more models after this. That'll be those extended model runs. We'll be able to compare things. But I want to show you just the invasion of humid air that's going to be making its way in, that Gulf moisture. So this is the NAM model, and we already have increasing humidity here. Dew points right now, let me get those pulled up where I can see them. Dew points are climbing, so it's not quite as dry outside, which for many is nice, but it won't be nice tomorrow. Of course, this morning we had some of that fog in the air. That was kind of our first indication of those climbing dew points. But dew points area wide right now are right around upper 40s, 50s. And, I mean, we've been in the 20s and 30s for a while now. We've had very dry air. So this is probably a little refreshing for most folks. But we will have more. That's 6 a.m. tomorrow. We will have more of that Gulf moisture coming in, and that will help to feed that storm. But overriding that, it shows dry air at the surface. But what we're going to see, is that Pacific moisture and that Gulf moisture overriding the front there that will be bringing the drier air at the surface, but aloft is where we will have that moisture overriding that warm, frankly warm moisture, overriding that front and dropping all of that precipitation. So even though dew points at the surface will be dry, there's enough moisture. There's going to be overwhelming moisture higher up in the atmosphere to bring all of that precipitation to us. So let's just shift gears here over to the, well, not reflectivity necessarily. Let's get that precip type up. And there's a couple of interesting things I want to show you. So let's get kind of zoomed in here to our area. Of course, again, if you're following from somewhere else in the country, we cover north central Texas between Dallas, Fort Worth, and Waco. So that's kind of our little market there. And you can see fairly early in the morning, 5, 6, 7 a.m., rain starting. Just rain all day here. And it will probably be an off and on rain through the day tomorrow, but you can see in West Texas that southerly progression, and here it is diving into the Metroplex. That is 3 a.m. on Saturday morning. And then that's 5 a.m., 6, 7, 8, 9. So you can see through the morning here that freezing line progressing southward. So between, 4 and 9 a.m., 4 and 10, that will be that southerly progression. So it's not going to be a rapid change. It will happen through the morning that we will change over to our other moisture modality. So one thing I want to show you, though, is you notice by 10 a.m., by noon, the precipitation starts to kind of break apart, and we get probably a little bit of a break. I don't know. Sometimes a break just means lighter precipitation. It doesn't mean completely done with it. But that's round one. We have kind of two waves here. Now, what the difference between this and 2021, those were two separate storm systems. This is going to be kind of two waves from the same system. So that's going to move northeastward, and there we have midnight, Saturday night into Sunday morning. Just widespread coverage of sleet here. So this sort of skin color here is sleet. The purple and hot pink there, that is freezing rain. So the good news is that maybe we can get some of that freezing rain out of here, and it's more sleet than freezing rain. But the problem is that we will have had rain falling on the ground really all day on Friday, and all of that will freeze early the next morning. So I'm still concerned about ice. I still think that a quarter to an inch to a half inch of ice accumulation is fair in our area. And, forecasts right now are saying that it could be more on the east side of the 35 corridor as opposed to the west side. But I don't know that it's really going to be that much of a difference in our area. So that is the NAM model. And, the NAM model, I have to say, has served me fairly well recently. So let's carry this forward here and move along to the HR model, that extended run. The same thing, early showers, and then that southerly progression. Now, this is 5 a.m., so it's really about on the same timeline as the NAM model. And you can see, once again, right here in the HR model, we're changing over. Now, this does not show as solid a transition. The HR model, I don't know how good it is at decoding precipitation modality. So it looks like a pretty mixed situation here, but I don't necessarily know that it's going to be that mixed. That'll be something we kind of have to find out at that point, because you can see all different colors here. And I think that a mix is fair. I think we will probably see mostly a mix, especially on Saturday as that colder air continues to filter in. But by, sundown Saturday, going into early Sunday, as we get that second wave of moisture and we're all below freezing in the, teens and 20s, that will probably all be sleet. Now, moving forward here, you can see that second wave off to the west. So the models are even, pretty united on just the schedule of things. That's just the way that it's kind of looking at everything. So, oh, good Lord. The weather cat knows there's things going on, and he wants, his 5 minutes of fame. Okay. Lots of folks asking when the rain starts. That's Friday morning. That was the first part of what we were showing you. The rain starts on Friday morning. early tomorrow morning. You'll wake up with rain starting. So, I mean, it's going to be a cold, wet rain all day tomorrow. There's just no getting around that. It's just, if you need to do anything outside, do it now, basically. Do it tonight, because tomorrow, it's just going to be gross. It's just going to be nasty. But you can see that second wave coming together in West Texas by tomorrow afternoon, and then by midday tomorrow, and by tomorrow afternoon and evening, that second wave moves in, brings a whole lot of moisture with it, and it's just all frozen precipitation by that point. Now, that precipitation, the models have been, the longer term models have been pretty united on rain ending, or precipitation, I should say, ending by midday, early afternoon on Sunday. So we will have plenty of precipitation going through the day, through the night, into Sunday morning. And Sunday is trending colder now. That's one of the differences we had in this morning's forecast. No, you're not going to step on buttons. I know you will like to do that, but Weather Cat trying to stir up trouble here. But we're going to just see solid moisture, solid precipitation all through Saturday night into Sunday morning. And then around midday Sunday, we clear the moisture out. But the big question is, and I know there's already been questions about, hey, we're going to, when will we clear the roads? A lot of that depends on how much sun we get Sunday and Monday. Sunday, I'm unsure. It really depends on how quickly we're going to clear the clouds out behind that storm system. It's a big question to me, and I try not to forecast that too specifically, because I've had so many times when I say, oh yeah, it's going to clear out afterwards, and the clouds just hang around, right? So I'm not willing to be too specific with that. So that's just going to be, we're going to have to wait and see. But we will stay in the 20s on Sunday, so we won't get above freezing, but the sun itself can warm surfaces to hopefully clear some of that out there and clear out some of those roads. Now, Monday, the good news is that we should get above freezing, even if it's briefly in the afternoon. When it comes to school and work and all those things, it may be Monday afternoon before things clear out. So I anticipate at the very least some delays. We've already had a few closures reported. Those who just don't see enough of a potential to clear things out Monday, or really realistically enough time on Monday to clear out all of that ice. So just, playing it safe and trying to be cautious. We already have some of those closures there. And of course, you can go to southmetroweather.com/closures to actually see those listed. And then when it comes to reporting closures, I'm asking that we just keep that to business owners and, faculty, staff, administrators, that kind of thing. Be someone official with who is closing, because when closures happen, especially school closures, because we all know that, these places tend to all close a whole county of districts at the same time, and they all announce at the same time. So what happens is I get 1,200 comments and messages from each school district letting me know that they are closing. And it really makes it tough to keep up. So let's try to limit that. Let's try to keep that to, those officials, and then that'll make it easier for me to keep up and get those reported to you. So Monday, I can't tell you exactly what's going to happen, but I do know that, again, we've already had some closures reported. And I can actually go ahead and pull those up for you now. Let's go ahead and do that. Get to the closures page. Well, let's go to the home page, and then we can kind of show you the path there. So here's our wonderful website, southmetroweather.com. You go to closures delays there, right next to the about button. That's going to take you directly to it. And here's what we have. So Waxahachie Driving School has canceled classes for Friday and Saturday. We have Hope Health that has closed their Waxahachie and Ennis locations for Monday. Just, not seeing enough evidence that we will get above freezing and clear things out enough for it to be safe for patients and staff. New Youth Salon over in Forreston closed Friday, January 23rd through Sunday, so just taking the whole weekend off there. Nothing from government offices at this point. I know that there's been some changes in utility services and those kinds of things. Some parks are closed, but I try to reserve that to specifically government offices closing, because a list of parks is huge by itself. And then as far as those organizations, churches and the like, the Avenue has said that they are closing, that they are canceling in-person gatherings on that Sunday. I think they said they're doing live streams, but they will be canceling those in-person services for Sunday morning. We have a few alerts to get through as well, so we'll talk about those. First thing I want to talk about is this winter storm warning. And the winter storm warning is, let's see, I need to get that out of the way there. The winter storm warning, the way they did it is a bit complicated, because they kind of tried to cut the area in half and cut it in half where they think the freezing line will be at, I guess 6 a.m. ish, because you'll notice that there's one sign here that says effective 6 p.m. Friday, and then one that says 6 a.m. Saturday. So, but the thing is that, when you have the warning here, 6 p.m. Friday is way up here in the Red River, right? It's going to take a lot of time for it to sag southward to this area, and right here would be 6 a.m. So that 6 p.m. time period doesn't necessarily make sense for our area, but you have to understand the context that it's basically one time for a large area, and that runs until 12 p.m. Sunday. That's for both of those. I know that I had that incorrect on social media for a while, and that was fortunately fixed. But, and I see in the comments here, Waxahachie Bible Church is online only for Sunday. So an update there for Waxahachie Bible Church as well. But that gives us, the winter storm warning is for the sleet, the snow, or the sleet, the ice, that kind of thing. And as far as snow, when I think we're going to get snow, I didn't mention this earlier, I think it's going to be on the back side of the system. I think it's going to be, Sunday morning, maybe around midday as the backside of that's moving out. I think that's where we'll get some snow. It may be a dusting. It may be a little bit more than that, but I think that's probably going to be about it. I'm not expecting much snow from this system at all, but we may get just enough to kind of enjoy through the day. So we'll see what that does and whether or not we can enjoy that. But I don't get your hopes up. That's what I would say on that note. Now we also have the extreme cold warning. The extreme cold warning is in place, and that's effective 6 a.m. Saturday through 12 p.m. Monday. It's going to be darn freaking cold. It's just, that's there's no way around that. I mean, we're going to have lows as low as the single digits when we get to Sunday night, Monday morning. So that starts at 6 a.m. Saturday, right around the time we're dropping below freezing, and then continues on through 12 p.m. Monday, at which point we will at least be in the low 30s, low to mid 30s maybe, and we could get above freezing at least for a time there. So let's get this forecast. Oh, I lost it. This computer has been quite tired. There's my Star Wars. As if I don't have enough Star Wars in this office. There's also a Star Wars background on the computer. Well, there you go. So 7-day forecast here. This just kind of illustrates everything that we're doing. And so all of these closures, like the website said, if you'll send those to kevin@southmetroweather.com, that's the easiest way for me to keep up with those. So that's going to be the most helpful way to go about that. But tomorrow, we have the rain starting in the morning, and it's going to cover most of the area. I don't think it's going to be a solid shield of rain. I think it's going to be scattered, patchy showers, but most of us get those. Could be a few rumbles of thunder there. The rain continues overnight into Saturday morning, at which point between 5, 6, 7 a.m., that's when we're looking at that changeover to freezing. Some have said earlier than that, but again, they're looking north, guys. You got to understand the context. When Dan Henry at Fox 4 or Pete Delkus at Channel 8 or whoever, Rick Mitchell at Channel 5, is saying that, hey, it's going to be, midnight that we change over, they're talking about DFW. They may even talk about, McKinney and Denton. So they're looking north. We're looking south. So it's going to take longer to get here because it's a southerly progression. So early Saturday morning, we change over to freezing. That freezing precipitation continues all day. We may have a break, late morning around midday or so. We may get a break between the two waves, but more heavy precipitation moves in late Saturday, afternoon, evening period, continues into Sunday morning, and then I think we finally get that out of here around midday Sunday. Certainly by the afternoon hours, we're clearing out. And the question is, will we get much sun, if at all, any at all, on Sunday? That could help to clear out some roads, but there's a big question mark there. And temperature-wise, I have 30 for Friday night into Saturday because we won't actually start cooling down until we've gotten into Saturday morning. Saturday's high, 28. So they're kind of close together, but we will be dropping through the day Saturday. And then 14 for your low. Teens for your low Sunday. Now keep in mind, you see these breezy winds here. So, Friday, 48, wind chills in the 30s. Friday night, wind chills in the 20s. Saturday, wind chills in the teens. Single-digit wind chills Saturday night and Sunday. Sunday, wind chills in the teens. And then Sunday night into Monday, I think we can see negative wind chills below zero as we get into the single digits. Monday, we try to get above freezing. We try to maybe get a little more sunlight there. We may be completely sunny on Monday. It's hard to call right now. I don't want to completely give too much hope, but it will take a while to clear everything out on Sunday or on Monday, I think. I am not sure if a 10 a.m. delay is going to be enough there, but that's going to be one of those game time things. It's going to be hard to tell until that point. I know some just don't want to have to, make that judgment close to, and what we're going to get looks intense enough that there's not enough time to thaw that out, which is completely understandable. And then Monday night into Tuesday, teens again. So very, very cold. But then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we're back in the 40s, overnight lows in the 20s. Now, I know that there's already people talking about the end of the month, we're going to get another big cold system. I ain't even close to looking at that yet. Let's get through this system, and then we'll be looking at next weekend. So that's, I know people want to know my thoughts on that, but that's where I'm at. This cat, man. This guy is bored. So that's where we stand. That's where we stand with things as far as I see them right now. I will continue, of course, to bring all of this to you. We are just kind of in a waiting period right now. We'll see what the evening data says, and if there's anything new to talk about, I'll bring that to you. Of course, I will continue to report those closures and those delays and things on southmetroweather.com/closures. And that's where we stand. We that winter storm is coming. We're getting to the point now, we're close enough. The changes start slowing down. We've got the high resolution model data. Those two models are pretty well in agreement right now. And so not a whole lot of variation there. Finally, we can stop living and dying by every model run, right? It's been exhausting. And I don't, usually look at models that frequently. But for a lot of it was just trying to keep up with the questions. Hey, I saw this model had this. I saw that model had that. So I'm just trying to keep up. But we're finally to that point now where things look pretty consistent, where I think we can pretty much stay where we need to be. And that's the Tiger, man. Okay. Try to just prevent that from happening again. There's we had talking points here. I think we've pretty well covered those, though. I think I may just post those on the Facebook page here in a little bit, and that that pretty much wraps us up. There's not as much to say here. There's not as much speculation to do. So I'll go back and answer some questions here, see if there's, David, will the rain be enough to wash the brine off the roadways? It could. It very well could. That could be an issue. And I know I had someone else ask me that earlier. It could very well be a possibility. I know a few people are concerned about power outages. Let me remind you, this is not a situation, because every time I see somebody talk about power outages, what ERCOT said, it's not going to be a grid failure, folks. This is a different situation. If you have a power outage, it's going to be an equipment failure. It's going to be a limb snapped, a power line, or a power line snapped by itself. Sometimes they're sagging enough they just break, or a transformer blew or got broken, or whatever the case is. Those equipment failures are going to be why the power's out. And I'm sure when the power goes out, everybody's going to think, well, the entire state's down, the grid failed, it's happening again. Because people they want to go with the most dramatic, obvious thing. But this is not 2021. We are looking at equipment failures being the most likely culprit for power outages. But you do need to be prepared for power outages, because they're not out of the question here. We will have a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch of ice, and that can do a lot. Doesn't sound like much, but it can do a lot to really wreak havoc with your power sources. What do you think the latest time to get to DFW Airport tomorrow is a safe bet? We won't be below freezing tomorrow. It's going to be wet. It's going to be gross. It's going to be cold and yucky, and that may delay flights. I don't know. You have to talk to your airline, but there's really not much in terms of a timeline to get to DFW Airport tomorrow, because we won't be below freezing tomorrow. So that starts Saturday. Let's see. Just joined. Did I miss what time the rain is supposed to start tomorrow? The rain starts early tomorrow morning, before sunrise, like 4, 5, 6 a.m. The rain will probably become more widespread through the day. But, it's going to be just kind of off and on rain starting around 4 or 5 a.m. So all day Friday, rain. There's no, hey, get your errands done before lunch. There's just rain all day. Crystal, what do I think about flights on Monday going to New York City? Again, I'm not the airline. It's hard to answer that. I don't know. It's a big if of whether we're going to get enough sun to clear some of those tarmacs and things. It is really hard to answer that question. I know that sucks, and I know that I can't specifically just tell you, yeah, you're going to be canceled or your flight's going to be fine. It's impossible for me to say either way. Kim Hefner, just like going to the store in 2021 and buying everything off the shelves, it's crazy. We're not going to be in for weeks. Here's the thing, and I posted this before. The panic buying is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Everybody jokes about panic buying, but then everybody starts thinking, oh, they might actually panic buy. Then you go panic buy. You're suspicious of other people doing it, and so you go do it. And at no point was this ever. Now, the people on the internet that want to share hyped up misinformation would love for you to think it's going to be like 2021. But it's not. It's nowhere close. Nowhere near the same setup. Nowhere near the same impact. And so, it's going to be rough for a few days, but this is not going to be 10 days, 9 or 10 days under freezing. It's just not going to be like that. Period. End of story. That may disappoint some folks who would rather get likes and shares off of that, but it's just not. That's just not going to be the situation. And the people that are clearing out the stores, now, what I could understand is that there's people that were planning on shopping on the weekend, which I get. They're trying to shop earlier, which that drives up the traffic, and then the number of people that runs into the people that were already shopping. Well, then the people hear about it, and the people that are going to shop on Thursday and Friday start going earlier, and it just causes mayhem. So some of it was honest to God adjustment of schedules. Some of it was, oh, haha, it's funny to talk about panic buying, but now that I'm joking about it, I'm afraid people are going to do it, so I'm going to go do it first. So, it's just, there's so much sociology to meteorology, ironically enough. But, that's the thing. We know that when we are communicating to the public, we generally know what the effect is going to be. And that's why we try to manage expectations. Say, like for me, I'm, making the point to tell you it's not going to be like 2021 because that's where the suspicions are. And then I'll make the point to tell you this is not enough to go raid the store and take everything, right? And just buy everything they have. We don't need to clean out HEB over this storm. Is it going to be inconvenient for a few days? Sure. I did my grocery shopping. I had to get one thing, I think, yesterday, but I did my grocery shopping on Monday? Because I knew this was coming. I knew it was coming, so I did my shopping that day to make sure we had just our basics. I got 1 loaf of bread. In fact, I already had bread. I didn't get bread. I got 1 gallon of milk. And that was it. I only needed 1 gallon of milk because that gallon of milk is going to last me through the weekend. So, the panic buying it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's almost never necessary. It is what it is. We will be fine. There will be inconveniences. It will stink. It's not going to be fun. There will be people complaining that we didn't get enough snow. I know that's coming. But hey, this, we have storms like this all the time in north central Texas, and we'll be fine. So stay tuned to South Metro Weather. We're going to keep you updated on what's going on. Tomorrow morning, the rain starts early, before sunrise. It's just going to be a rainy, dreary, cold, gross day all day long. That continues through the day tomorrow, just kind of patchy off and on rain. Continues Friday night, Saturday morning, around a little before sunrise, really, probably before sunrise, 4, 5, 6 a.m., we shift over to freezing, and we stay there for a couple of days while that frozen precipitation continues. Freezing rain and sleet, and a mix of those, and maybe mixing in some snow, and we may get some snow flurries on Monday around midday as that system is moving out. So I'll continue to watch the models. If there's something different that happens, I'll let you know. I know I didn't do a short form recap of this earlier today. I have been running around like crazy today. I am exhausted, but I will do a recap for this video, just a short 2.5 minute deal for those that couldn't stay the whole time. And we will continue to keep you guys updated as we get closer to the weekend and really what amounts to this season's first winter storm.
A smile upon your face, and I see something shimmering in your eyes. And they say if you want to glimpse the future, you need space. And you said you'll put down your morning guns. Would you follow me to wander? My hand and walk beside me in a whirl of thunder. Fear is an imposter. When you look at me this way, I find it hard to not